You don't overspend because you're irresponsible. You overspend because your brain was literally designed to. Every time you buy something, a new shirt, a coffee you didn't need, something you saw for 2 seconds on your phone, your brain gives you a hit of dopamine. Not because you needed the item, because the act of buying feels good. And then 30 minutes later, that feeling is gone, and you're standing in your room wondering why you bought something you already forgot about. This isn't a willpower problem. This isn't a discipline problem. This is a wiring problem. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how your brain tricks you into spending and the 4 traps it uses to do it every single day without you noticing.
Let's start with what's actually happening in your brain when you spend money. Dopamine isn't the feeling good chemical. That's the popular myth. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It spikes before you get the thing, not after. That's why scrolling a shopping app feels almost as good as the purchase itself. Your brain is rewarding you for the chase, not the catch. So here's the loop. You see something, your brain floods with dopamine in anticipation. You buy it. The dopamine spikes one more time at the moment of purchase. That's the add to cart high. And then, almost immediately, the chemical drops. Hard. Faster than it rose. What's left is the actual item. Sitting there. Usually a little less exciting than it felt 30 seconds ago. This is why retail therapy doesn't actually work as therapy. You're not solving the bad mood. You're chasing a chemical spike that's specifically designed to fade fast. So you'll go chase it again. And the people who design shopping apps, checkout flows, and limited time sales know this loop intimately. They're not guessing. They're engineering the anticipation phase to be as long and as intense as possible, because that's where the money is made, not in the satisfaction of owning the thing.
Now, knowing this loop exists is step 1. But it doesn't actually stop you from falling into it, because the loop isn't one size fits all. There are 4 specific triggers that activate it. And chances are, one of these 4 is responsible for almost every unnecessary purchase you've made this year.
Trap 1. Social comparison spending. This is buying something not because you want it, but because someone you follow, know, or compare yourself to already has it. It's rarely conscious. You don't think, I need to keep up with so-and-so. You just suddenly, urgently need the thing they have. This trap is loudest on social media, where you're seeing a curated highlight reel of other people's spending decisions, stripped of all context. No debt, no financial stress, no buyer's remorse. Just the item, looking perfect. Trap 2. Emotional spending. This is using a purchase to regulate a feeling. Stress, sadness, boredom, even celebration. The purchase isn't really about the item. It's a coping mechanism wearing a receipt. The tell here is timing. If you can look back and notice you buy more right after a stressful day, a fight, a bad mood, that's not coincidence. That's your brain using spending the same way it might use food or scrolling, as a fast, accessible mood adjuster. Trap 3. Status spending. This is different from social comparison. Status spending isn't about keeping up with a specific person. It's about the identity a purchase projects to anyone watching. The car that says, I'm successful. The bag that says, I have taste. The watch that says, I've made it. The uncomfortable truth is that status purchases are rarely about the buyer's actual confidence. The more secure someone feels internally, the less they tend to need external props to prove it. Trap 4. Boredom spending. This is the quietest trap, and probably the most common. You're not stressed, not trying to impress anyone. You're just understimulated. Scrolling a shopping app during a boring meeting, browsing just to look while waiting for something. The purchase isn't emotional or social. It's just something to do. This trap is sneaky because it doesn't feel like a decision at all. It feels like filling dead time.
This is exactly the kind of pattern most people never get explained to them in plain language. I actually broke down all 4 of these spending traps, plus the specific rewiring technique for each one, in a full chapter inside the Complete Wealth Bible. The spending psychology chapter goes way deeper than what I can fit into one video. Links on screen if you want the full breakdown. Anyway, let's talk about how to actually fix this. Here's the good news. You don't need to identify your trap and then white-knuckle your way through willpower every time it shows up. That's exhausting, and it doesn't last. What actually works is interrupting the loop itself at the exact moment it starts. Step 1, name the trigger in the moment. The second you feel that urgent, I need this pull, pause and ask, which trap is this? Am I comparing myself to someone? Am I trying to fix a feeling? Am I trying to project something? Or am I just bored? This sounds small, but it's actually the most important step. The dopamine loop runs on autopilot. The moment you consciously name what's happening, you've interrupted autopilot. And that interruption alone reduces the urge significantly. Step 2, insert a 24-hour gap. Not as a punishment, as a filter. Remember, dopamine spikes in anticipation, then crashes. If you wait 24 hours, you're letting that initial spike fully pass before you make the decision. Most impulse purchases don't survive a full day of waiting. The ones that do survive were probably worth buying anyway. Step 3, replace the dopamine source. Don't just suppress it. You can't out-willpower a dopamine system forever. Instead, give it something else to chase. A short walk, a text to a friend, even 5 minutes of a hobby. The goal isn't to feel nothing. It's to redirect the chase towards something that doesn't cost you money. Step 4, build a spending identity. This is the deepest fix, and the one that makes the other 3 almost automatic over time. Instead of telling yourself, I'm trying not to overspend, start telling yourself, I'm someone who spends on purpose. Small difference in wording, massive difference in how your brain executes it. The first version is restriction. The second version is identity. And identity drives behavior far more reliably than restriction ever does. Now, here's what nobody tells you about all of this, and it's the part that actually matters most. You're not broken. Your environment is. Every checkout flow, every only 2 left, every perfectly timed ad, all of it is built by people whose entire job is to trigger one of those 4 traps in you as efficiently as possible. You were never competing on a level playing field. You were playing a game designed by people who study your psychology professionally, while you were just trying to live your life. So when you stop blaming yourself and start recognizing the system, something shifts. The shame disappears. And without the shame, you can actually think clearly enough to make the trade-off. Is this purchase worth it? Or is this just the loop talking? That clarity, that's the actual fix. Not perfection, just enough awareness to catch the loop before it catches you. You don't overspend because something is wrong with you. You overspend because you have a brain that's being expertly targeted by systems built specifically to exploit it. And until today, nobody ever showed you the mechanics behind it. Now you know the 4 traps: social comparison, emotional spending, status, boredom. And you know the fix isn't willpower. It's naming the trigger, inserting the gap, redirecting the chase, and building the identity. If this hit something for you, this is exactly why I built the Complete Wealth Bible. 16 guides, including the full spending psychology breakdown with worksheets for identifying your specific triggers. $47. Links on screen, links in the description. Your environment was built to make you spend without thinking. You just took the thinking back. That's the whole game from here.